Welcome. Today we're going to jump right in and take our very first step into the world of programming with a language called C++. Think of it as this incredible toolkit that lets you build, well, pretty much anything you can dream up.
I mean, have you ever been playing a video game and thought, man, I could totally make something like this? Or maybe you've used an app and had this flash of inspiration for how to make it way better. That's exactly the feeling we're going to tap into today, that urge to create something new.
Because that's what coding is all about, right? It's the power to build. It's the magic that takes an idea from just floating around in your head and puts it right onto a screen, making it something real that people can actually use and interact with.
And the tool we're going to be focusing on is C++. You can think of it like this key right here, the thing that unlocks the logic and the potential to actually build those ideas. It's one of the most powerful languages on the planet, behind some of the most intense software you can imagine. So let's start with the basics.
So what is C++ really? If it's this powerful new tool, let's get a handle on what kind of tool it is and what it's really built for.
At its heart, C++ is just a language we use to give computers instructions. But what makes it special, its real claim to fame, is speed and efficiency. It's designed from the ground up to create programs that run incredibly fast and don't waste the computer's resources.
Now, for a little backstory, C++ didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was actually created as a massive upgrade to an older but still legendary language called C. The best way to think about it is that C is the rock-solid foundation, and C++ is the supercharged skyscraper they built right on top of it, adding a ton of new features and possibilities.
Okay, so it's powerful. It's an evolution of C, but why should you care? Especially if you're just starting out. What makes C++ worth your time today? Let's dig into where its real power is.
Well, learning C++ gives you some huge advantages. First off, it is incredibly fast, which is why it's the go-to for high-performance stuff. But more importantly, it kind of forces you to understand how computers really work on a deeper level. And that has a massive payoff. Once you get a good handle on C++, picking up other programming languages becomes so much easier. You've already done the hard part.
So we know it's fast, and it builds a great foundation. But that's all just theory, right? Where do you actually see C++ in action, out in the wild? Let's take a look.
First up, and this is a big one, video games. You know those huge, beautiful, open-world games that just blow your mind? A lot of them are built using game engines like Unreal Engine, and Unreal is built on C++. You need that kind of speed to handle all those crazy graphics and physics in real time.
And it goes way beyond games. C++ is at the very core of the device you're watching this on right now. The big important parts of operating systems like Windows and macOS, the software that runs your whole computer, are built with C++. Its reliability is absolutely essential to keep everything running smoothly.
And it's not just on your screen either. C++ is often the hidden brain inside tons of physical devices. Think about the complex computer systems in modern cars, or smart home gadgets, or even medical equipment. A lot of the time, that's C++ working quietly in the background, controlling the hardware itself.
And finally, let's look at an industry where every single nanosecond counts: finance. The software used for high-frequency trading has to be lightning fast to make trades fractions of a second ahead of the competition. That software is almost always built with C++. In that world, speed isn't just a nice feature, it's everything.
All right, that's enough talk about what C++ can do. It's time to actually see it for yourself. We're going to take a look at your very first program. This is like a rite of passage for every single programmer out there, so let's do this.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. This looks like a bunch of confusing symbols and weird words, but trust me on this, it is way simpler than it looks. Every single one of these lines has a very specific job to do. Let's just break it down. That first line, #include iostream, is basically you telling the program, hey, I'm going to need the tools for input and output. Like displaying stuff on the screen. Simple enough. Then you've got int main function. Every C++ program looks for this exact line. It's the official starting point. It's the green flag that says go. And finally, inside there you see cout. That's our action command. It's short for character output, and it just tells the computer to print whatever comes after it right onto the screen.
So, after all that code, what's the grand result? This simple two-word phrase, hello world. And just like that, you've seen how a real program works under the hood. It's literally the first step every coder takes, and it's a huge one.
So, you've seen what C++ is, why it's so incredibly powerful, and you've even dissected your very first program. That's a lot to take in. So let's talk for a second about what the journey looks like from here.
I really want to end on this point because it's so important. If any of what we just looked at felt confusing or a little overwhelming, please know that is 100% normal. Nobody becomes a programmer in a day. It's a skill, just like learning an instrument, and you build it piece by piece, one step at a time. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Now that you've taken that very first step and seen just a little bit of what's possible, what do you want to create? What's the first thing you're excited to try and build? Hold on to that idea, because that's the kind of thing that's going to push you forward on this amazing journey.